when I was a high school player, just north of Houston at Kingwood High School, actually. Um, I was a good Texas junior, not a top national kid, but very good in Texas, and I was doing quite a few recruiting trips here and there, and it was really interesting at Rice. My old high school golf coach, Mickey Daughtery was his name, had a relationship with the with an old coach, Coach Plumley, and uh, had been in contact. And unfortunately, Coach Plumley had passed away during this recruiting process. And the director of athletics, Augie Erfurth, um, I guess, continued on and ended up offering me a nice scholarship. And I was well aware of uh, what a great academic school Rice was. That was equally as important, if not more, than coming for athletics, specifically golf. And it was a great offer. And for a Houston kid to go to school at Rice, it was the best. Yeah, so it's actually a really good story. Coachy, as we all knew him as, his first day as a golf coach, so he really had a history of being a Spanish professor and a baseball coach. And his first day taking over the golf coaching position was my first day at school. And I'll always remember our first trip out to practice because Coach and I drove together and we were meeting my other teammates who I hadn't met yet. And Coach took us to the wrong course. And we looked around and we're trying to find out where we need to go. And we figured out that it was, I can't remember if it was at Sweetwater, and we went to Westwood. And so we eventually made our way over and found the rest of the team. But during that long drive from club to club in Houston, while we tried to figure out where we were going together, we really struck up a nice rapport right then, and got to know each other a little bit. And we finally made it to the team. And, then things went business as usual and we got our practice in. But Coach Castaneda, who was coachy, he played a huge role in my life during school and even after school. He was a great man. Well, that's another good story. So I was a good player at Rice. I was not a Division I All-American or anything along that line. I'd won one nice tournament during my tenure at school, and back then we played in the Seoul Southwest Conference, so we played against UT, A&M, and Baylor and whatnot. And so those were great experiences. And those teams for University of Houston and University of Texas, they were legendary, some of the best teams of all time. So it was very humbling because we took a lot of beatings from those guys. Probably not too different than the basketball team playing Elijah when he was at University of Houston as well. So we played against a lot of Golf Hall of Famers at that point. But after school, I was a political science major. I got my degree. And I made a decision that was very controversial in my family. I told everybody I was going to put my working life on hold, and I was going to go wait tables at night and practice golf in the day. And everybody was very nervous about that decision I made, but it turned out to be the best decision I ever made. So I worked really hard. I felt like if I could put in my 10 hours a day and really apply myself, that anything was possible. And Coach Castaneda, helped me have a inner belief in my ability. Mm-hmm. And I worked really, really hard. And 2 years later, I found myself on the PGA Tour. And so I played full time for 8 years. I bounced back and forth a little between the PGA Tour and what's now called the Korn Ferry Tour, but back then it was the Ben Hogan Tour. It was like AAA baseball. It was a minor league tour for the PGA Tour. And those were some great experiences. I remember my first tournament. I played with Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. Were in that same tournament. So that was way back in the heyday. And then I stopped playing for a brief period in 1997. So that my rookie year on tour was 1991. I stopped playing in 97 and I took a job in the club pro industry. And a couple of years into that, I was fortunate enough to go work for a golfing legend, Ben Crenshaw, and opened up the Austin Golf Club with Mr. Crenshaw. And I started playing really well again and really rejuvenated my passion and kind of got going again, and took my vacation time from that position at Austin Golf Club, and found myself back on the PGA Tour again from 2002 to 2005. And that was a great time to be on the tour because that was in the heyday of Mr. Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And he did an incredible amount for every professional golfer and every golfer anywhere. He really exploded the game of golf. And I was fortunate enough, I got to play a few rounds with him at the Western Open in Chicago in 2004. And, that was like playing, it was like playing with Robert Plant if he was singing for Led Zeppelin at Madison Square Garden. It was incredible. It was the ultimate. It was what you dreamed of as a kid. And, so I played the tour for on and off for several years. And then in 2006, I stopped playing, and I really put that effort I was putting into my early golf years, put that into the club professional world, and really worked my way up through the ranks. That was kind of humbling. You're going from, PGA Tour player to, working in the club pro world. But that's been a great endeavor for me. And I've still always kept up with my playing. I still do to this day. I've been fortunate enough. I've played in 14 major championships, and I've played in 8 of them in the last 5 years, which has been pretty cool. So even though I'm getting a little older and a little gray around the ears, I've still been able to keep my playing level strong while operating clubs. And I've been involved in PGA of America, both regionally and nationally. I was a vice president of the PGA in Texas. And then I'm involved on the tournament committee of the PGA and the National. So it's been a great ride, and the ride's still going. We're still rocking, and there's things to be done. When I got the call, I was unbelievably humbled, and Will had given me a call, and I was speechless for one of the few times in my life. I really couldn't even talk. I was brought to tears. It means everything to be honored by, a great university as Rice for a body of work that you've really done your whole career. It was incredibly meaningful to me, to my family. I know it was to my mentor in the golf world, who's Jackie Burke. He's been the founder. He's 98. And he's still doing his thing at Champions Golf Club in the north side of town. To my wife, and most of all, to my kids, but my parents, they're not with us anymore. They would have been unbelievably proud that that kid that decided to wait tables at night and practice in the day would end up, at this place and time, several years later. So it means an incredible amount. Thanks to everybody at Rice University. I love my school, and I can't wait to come home.